we are given a table, item of food and drinks, fuel, rent, building projects, education, and savings. And this table shows the monthly expenditure in percentage of Mr. Okafor's salary. We should calculate the percentage of Mr. Okafor's salary that was put into savings. We should illustrate this in a pie chart and a question on Mr. Okafor's gross salary and the amount of tax being paid. So let's begin with the A. Let's begin with A. It said we should calculate the percentage of Mr. Okafor's salary that was put into savings. Now, if we look closely to this now, we will find out that all the percentage of food and drinks, fuel, rent, building project, education, and savings should be equals to 100. So we are saying that food and drinks 35% plus fuel 7.5% plus rent, which is 10%, okay, plus building projects, which is 15%, plus education, plus that's 17.5%, plus savings, which is X, is equals to 100%. So with this, we can find the value of X, because that's the question. Calculate the percentage of Mr. Okafor's salary that was put into savings. So all this is 85%, that's 85, plus X is equals to 100. So X is equals to 100 minus 85, which is equals to 15. So the percentage of savings is equals to 15%. Now this is very interesting. We have solved for A, and now let's solve for B. B is going to be a very interesting question to solve, and let's begin. So the question says we should illustrate the information in a pie chart. So to illustrate this illustration now, we have to draw like a tabular form. We have the item, okay, we have the percentage, and we will also have the degree, because to draw a pie chart we need the angle, or let me just say angle in degrees. Let's use angle. So let's write them all out. We're going to maximize the space we have. So now let's begin with item number 1, which is food and drinks. I just write the tables out. Food and drinks is taking 35%. We have rent, sorry, fuel is followed. Fuel is taking 7.5%. We have rent taking 10%. We have building projects. Building projects is taking 15% as a good percentage. The money spent on education, can be formal or informal, is 17.5%. Which is interesting, not a bad percentage at all. So it is 17.5%. And moving on, finally we have savings. Savings is X, and X we evaluated in the previous question to be 15%. Now the question is, how do we evaluate the angle? We know the sum of angles in a pie chart is equal to 360 degrees. So to evaluate the food and drinks, all you just have to do 35 divided by 100 multiplied by 360 degrees. It's as simple as that. And we'll have this to give us 126 degrees if we use our calculator. So you will do the same thing for what we have here. If we duplicate this, we'll just change the 35 to 7.5 multiplied by 360 degrees, and we'll be left with, okay, we'll be have 27 degrees. So in the same vein, for 10%, that's 10 divided by 100 divided by 360 degrees, and we'll have 36 degrees. For 15%, which is building projects, 15 divided by 100 multiplied by 360 degrees, and this will result into 54 degrees. And for education, which is 17.5 degrees, 17.5 divided by 100 multiplied by 360 degrees, and this will give us 63 degrees. And finally for savings, we will have 15 divided by 100 multiplied by 360 degrees, and this would give us 54 degrees. Now we are just going to sketch the pie chart since we do not have anything like a protractor to measure the angle. So the pie chart is a circle. Okay, we have a circle and we have a circle with center position here. So we're going to move in the anti-clockwise direction starting from this region. So we are just going to sketch the graph, or the pie chart rather. So 126 degrees we end about here. So this is 126 degrees. 126 degrees is equivalent to food and drinks. Food and drinks. And after 126 degrees, we have something of 127 degrees. So 27 degrees will fall about this angle. Remember, it's coming here, 27 degrees. Now 27 degrees is a representation for fuel. And moving on, we have 36 degrees. So 36 degrees should fall, greater than 180 degrees in total. So we have 36 degrees. 36 degrees is an indication for rent. Afterwards is building project, which is 54 degrees. So 54 degrees will fall here as at this angle. So it's just a sketch. You will have to perfect this yourself. 54 degrees is building project. And afterwards we have 63 degrees. 63 degrees spent on education. So we have 63 degrees on education. It should be greater than this. Yeah, just a sketch. Okay, so we have 63 degrees spent on education. And finally we have savings, which is 54 degrees. So savings is 54 degrees. So with this, we have a sketch of our pie charts using the percentage of each item. Now let's proceed further to question C. Question C says, if Mr. Okafor's salary goes, if Mr. Okafor's annual salary, we're given Mr. Okafor's annual salary to be equals to $28,800, and he pays a tax of 12%. We should find its monthly tax. So to get the monthly tax, we have to know the monthly salary. So the monthly salary, since we have 12 months in a year, the monthly salary will be equals to the annual salary. That's $28,800 divided by 12. So the monthly salary is $2,400. Now the monthly tax the monthly tax will be equals to 12% of the monthly salary, because we're given tax of 12%. So this is 12% of the monthly salary of 2,400. So we have the monthly tax to give us $288. So it's simple. And moving on, they ask us to find the amount Mr. Okafor saves each month. So each month now, after he pays the tax, we have an amount, the amount you have left, because there's a system where you have to pay tax before you can save, which brings us to another principle in finance or anything. So the amount you have left in a month will be equals to the monthly salary, that's 2,400, minus the monthly tax, 288, and this is equals to 2,112. So once you have 2,112, how much is it saving? Now the savings is always 15%. So the amount saved will be equals to 15% of, okay, of the amount left after paying tax. So that is going to be equals to 15%, that's 15 over 100 of the amount left. The amount left is 2,112, and this is equals to 316.8%. So in a month, you save $316.8 and a tax of $288. That's quite much based on what he has received. So with this, we have solved the whole of question number 8, and the most interesting part was where we drew the pie charts. Let's proceed on to the next question. Now let's continue with question number 10. We're given a table that shows the distribution of ages in years of a number of children, okay, in a school. If the mean, or given the mean to be equals to 7, we should find the value of x and also standard deviation. Now this is a group data of ages x, so let's call the x, ages is x, the number, let's call it f. And it's a very cheap question, and now let's solve together. Now what is the formula for mean? Mean was given to be 7, but then what is the formula for mean and what is the formula for standard deviation? So let's apply. Mean is 7, I don't know why this keep, mean is equals to summation f of x divided by summation x, or summation f rather, and the standard deviation, SD, is the square root of the variance, which is the summation f of x minus x bar squared divided by summation f. Now what is x bar? X bar is equals to mean. So we are going to apply this formula and we are going to simplify this table. So to get the mean now, we have to know f of x, that's the sum of f of x and the sum of f. So we can easily evaluate the sum of f now, which is going to give us what we have here: 2 plus 6 plus 5 plus x plus 6 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5. So applying that principle, we will have the value of summation f, which will give us 41 plus x. And this is summation f. Let's just bring it to the side. Now to get summation f of x, now we are going to have a column of f of x, that's fx. So that means we are just going to multiply these two together. So we'll have 3 multiplied by 2, this will give us 6, 4 multiplied by 6, 24, 5 multiplied by 5, 25, 6 multiplied by x, we'll have 6x, and 7 multiplied by 6, we'll have 42, 8 multiplied by 9 is 72, 9 multiplied by 8 is also 72, and 10 multiplied by 5 is 50. Now if you look at the formula of mean again, it says summation f of x. We have known summation f to be equals to 41 plus x. Now what is summation f of x? So that means we are going to add 6 plus 24 plus 25 plus 6x plus 4x, 42 plus 72 plus 72 plus 50. Now when we sum this all together, you can use a calculator. So we have that summation f of x is equals to 291 plus 6x. So now let's begin with our formula for mean. The formula for mean, just as we have here, okay, mean, it is equals to summation f of x to be divided by summation f. And now we have that summation f of x is 291 plus 6x, and summation f is 41 plus x. Now we are looking for the value of x, or we are given the mean in the question, to be equals to 7. All right, as you can see, if the mean of the distribution is 7, so with this we can find the value of x. So if we cross multiply, we'll have 291 plus 6x is equals to 7 into 41 plus x. So 291 plus 6x will be equals to 287 plus 7x. So we can find the value of x now and say 291, or let's just bring x to the left hand side. 6x minus 7x is equals to x minus 7x is equals to 287 minus 291. So we have minus x to be equals to minus 4, and we have x now to be equals to 4. Interesting. Now if we have x to be equals to 4, we can now go back and make our substitution. X to be equals to 4, now we come here and substitute the value of x plus 4. So we will now have our summation f to be equals to 45, and x to be equals to 4. We will have our summation f of x to be equals to 291, okay, plus 6 into 4. That's 291 plus 21 plus 24, and this would result into 315. So we have summation f of x. Now we have summation f of x to be 315, and we have found the value of x to be equals to 4, which is question A. Now let's proceed further to question B. Now question B says we should find the standard deviation of the edges. Now standard deviation has the formula of summation f into x minus x bar all squared. So we will have columns referring to that. Okay, we'll have the column of x minus x bar. Similarly, we will have the column of x minus x bar squared, and finally the column of f into x minus x bar squared. And we know that x bar, which is the mean, is equals to 7. Please, x bar is not equals to x. X bar is equals to 7. And we found the value of x now. Let's make the conclusion here that x is equals to 4, and this will be 6 multiplied by 4, which is equals to 24. So now let's implement this into what we have. So x bar is equals to 7, so we have x minus x bar, that's 3 minus x bar, which is equals to minus 4. 4 minus x bar, that's 4 minus 7, is equals to minus 3. 5 minus 7 is equals to minus 2. 6 minus 7 is equals to minus 1. 7 minus 7, 0. 8 minus 7, 1. 9 minus 7, we'll have 2. And 10 minus 7, we'll have 3. Now moving on, we want to have x minus x bar squared. So x now minus x bar squared. So that means we're just going to square the components of x minus x bar. So minus 4 squared, 16, minus 6 squared, minus 3 squared, 9, minus 2 squared, 4, minus 1 squared, 1, 0 squared, 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, and 3 squared is 9. So now we want to multiply the frequency by this column. So this is the frequency here. 2, 6, 5, 4, 6, 9, 28, and 5. So 2 multiplied by 16, we will have 32. 2 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 9, we will have 54. 5 multiplied by 4, we have 20. 4 multiplied by 1, we have 4. 6 multiplied by 0, 0. 9 by 1, 9. 8 by 4, 32. And 5 by 9 is 45. So now we have sum of f. We have the column of f into x minus x bar squared. Now following the formula of this, we have to find the sum of this column. So the sum of this column, which we will call summation of f into x minus x bar squared, is equals to 32 plus 54 plus 20 plus 4 plus 0 plus 9 plus 32 plus 45. So when we do all this would result into 196. So we are going to apply the formula for standard deviation. So the formula for standard deviation is summation of f into x minus x bar squared divided by summation of f. Now summation of f into x minus x bar squared is 196, and the summation of f that we have here is equals to 45 divided by 45. So applying this, if we use our calculator, we'll have root of 4.356, and this is 2.086. We can approximate it to 2 decimal places to give 2.09. So we can see now that everything that we did in this question basically was this table. So you can have a question that asks to find the mean deviation, the variance, or even the range of a distribution. All you just have to do is to apply the formula and use the component of the table to solve the question. Now let's solve question 11 now. Now let's proceed further to question 11. Now we have question A and B. So let's begin with A. The A says the exterior angles of polygons, okay, are 42 degrees, 38 degrees, 57 degrees. We have x degrees, x plus y degrees, x plus y degrees, 2x minus 15 degrees, and 3x minus y degrees. And we're given a condition that if x is 7 less than y, so that means if we subtract x from y, we'll have 7 degrees. We should find the value of x and y. So now, how do we solve this question on polygon? If you recall, while even we're solving our objective section, we will have a formula on polygon that the sum of interior angles is equals to 1n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees, and the sum of exterior angles is equals to 360 degrees, and the interior angle plus exterior angle is equals to 180 degrees. So now we're given the exterior angle to be all this, and we are asked to find the values of x and y. So this will be like a simultaneous equation, and to fully solve this, let us apply the principle of sum of exterior angles is equals to 360 degrees. Now the sum of exterior angles is 360 degrees, and all these are the exterior angles of a polygon. So in short, we are saying everything 42 degrees, okay, 42 degrees, 38 degrees, 57 degrees, x degrees, x plus y degrees, and 2x minus 15 degrees, and 3x minus y degrees. Everything is equals to 360 degrees. So all we have to do now is to simplify this. So 42 plus 38 plus 57 plus 5, everything will be equals to 122 degrees. So we have how many x? X, 2x, and 3x. So that's x plus 2x plus 3x, and that will give us 7x. And we have how many y? Y minus y. So y minus y is nullified, and we will be left with equals to 360 degrees. So with this, we can find the value of x. So we have that 7x is equals to 360 degrees, minus 122 degrees. X is equals to 360. 7x is 360 degrees minus 122 degrees. So we have 7x to be equals to 238 degrees. So with this, we'll have x to be equals to 238 divided by 7, which is equals to 34 degrees. Now, if you have the value of x now to be equals to 34 degrees, what then is the value of y? Remember from the second line of the question that if x is 7 less than y, we should find the value of x or y. So x is 7 less than y, which is what we have here, where y minus x is equals to 7 degrees. So we can find the value of x of y now. So y will be equals to 7 degrees plus x. So this is 7 plus 34, everything degrees. And we'll have y to be equals to 41 degrees. Y is 41 degrees, x is 34 degrees. So we have solved the A part of the question. Now let's proceed further to the B part of the question. And this time we will have a diagram which we have stored. Okay. Now, the question says in the diagram, we have center O, which is the center of the circle XYZ. The angle ZXO is 34 degrees and angle XOY is 146 degrees. We should find angle OYZ. So we are looking for this angle OYZ. So how do we solve this? Which is very, very important. How do we solve this question? Now, if you recall from our previous questions where we saw circle geometry, okay, we established the fact that in a circle, so let's have a circle shape. That if we talked about angle at center and angle at circumference, so this is angle at center by an arc AB, we call this theta, and the angle at circumference is alpha. So we knew that angle at center theta is equals to 2 times angle at circumference alpha. So in view of this, XY is an arc. So 146 is angle at center. So we can now call this angle alpha. So XZY is alpha, which is angle at circumference. So in view of that, let's follow the principle that angle at center is equals to angle at is 2 times angle at circumference. So let's write it out. Angle at center is equals to 2 times angle at circumference. 2 times angle at circumference. And implementing this, the angle at center is 146 degrees. So 146 degrees is equals to 2 multiplied by alpha. So we have alpha to be 146 divided by 2. Alpha is equals to 146 divided by 2, and this will give us 73 degrees. Now if we go back to the diagram, now we have that alpha is equals to what? 7. So the whole of this angle from here to here is 73 degrees. Now we are after evaluating this angle here, but then how do we solve it? Now we understand that this diagram is not drawn to scale, and in view of that, we know that this is the radius from center to the circumference. This is also the radius from center to circumference, and also this is the radius from center to circumference. So we are saying this is an isosceles triangle, and this also is an isosceles triangle. So we understand that base angle of isosceles triangle are equal. So in view of that, if this is 34 degrees, then this also is 34 degrees. So we are saying that angle OZY or ZX rather is equals to 34 degrees. Okay, y, base angle of isosceles triangle, base angles of an isosceles triangle is equal Now, once that is equal, and we understand that this angle here is 73 degrees, so the remaining angle at this point will be what? 73 degrees minus 34 degrees. So 73 degrees minus 34 degrees. And in view of that, this would give us how many degrees? Remember, this is out, so let's just move this out to the other side. There's 73 minus 34 degrees would give us 39 degrees. Now, just as we have done here, that angle OZY, let's repeat it, angle OZY, okay, is equals to 39 degrees, or let's just say it is equals to 73. Just further ado, 73 minus 34 degrees, which is equals to 39 degrees. So in the same vein, we know that this is an isosceles triangle. Radius is being equals to radius. So with that, we will have that this angle that we are looking for is also 39 degrees. So the question, which is OYZ, as angle OYZ. So angle OYZ is equals to angle OZY, which is equals to 39 degrees. The reason is the same thing that we have here. The base angle of an isosceles triangle is equal. So we can duplicate this and we have it here. So with this, we have solved question B. Now let's proceed to WAEC 2022 theory question 12. Now question 12 has two parts, A and B. So let's begin with question A. Question A is a question on probability. It says the probability that an athlete will not win any of the three races, okay, is 1/4. So when we say probability of not win, P not win, we are indirectly saying that it is probability of losing. Okay, so if the probability that the guy will lose is equals to 1/4, any of the race. Now the question says if the athletes run in all of the races, what is the probability that the athlete will win only the second race, that the athlete will win all the three races, that the athlete will win only 2 of the races? Now this is a very interesting question. Now before we proceed on, let's recall ourselves on some basic laws of probability. When we have probability of A, okay, and B, A and B, in this case, so this will result into probability of A being multiplied by the probability of B. Remember that A and B are mutually exclusive events. We have seen all these kind of questions in the objective questions and even some theory questions. So when you also have probability of A or B, this will mean probability of A plus probability of B. Now the question is, can we have more than 2 events? That means, can we have an extra event, say probability of, let's duplicate, or let's just move this guy downward so that we'll get the whole concept. So that means, can we have probability of A and B and C happening at the same time? And can we also have probability of A or B or C happen simultaneously? And this would result into probability of A multiplied by the probability of B, and as you guessed right, it will be multiplied by the probability of C. Similarly, this will be the probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. So we'll be applying these concepts, okay, in this question. So now let's look at the question proper. In the question, we're given that the probability that an athlete will not win any of the races to be equals to 1/4. Now we are saying that the probability of the guy losing is equals to 1/4. The question now is, what if the guy wins? What is the probability? Now you must have seen in textbooks or in lesson classes that the probability of someone passing is equals to 1 minus the probability of the person failing. Okay, now instead of passing, we will use winning. Instead of failing, we will use losing. So the probability of win will be equals to 1 minus the probability of losing. So PW, probability of win, is equals to 1 minus PL, 1 over 4. And that means we will have probability of winning to be equals to 3 over 4. So we'll be using this PL of L and P of W very much. Now let's begin. The question now says, if the athlete runs all the races, how many races? He runs 3 races at the same time. Okay, once it's done with one, he proceeds to the next, and once it's done with the other one, he proceeds to the last one. Now the question is, what's the probability that he will win only the second race? Now the probability that he will win only the second race, that's let's begin with question AI, is that the athlete will win only the second race. So he's going to lose the first race, win the second race, and also lose the last race. So lose, win, lose. Now the question now is this or and? Now only in this kind of condition means that we are considering and. So it is L and W and L. So applying this principle, we will have that PLW, P of L of W of L will be equals to probability of lose multiplied, okay, because it's and, multiplied by probability of W multiplied by the probability of L. So all we just have to do is just to substitute. Probability of lose is 1 over 4. Probability of win is 3 over 4. The probability of losing is 1 over 4. So with this, we have 3 divided by 64. So the probability that the guy will win just one race, okay, just the second race, is 3 over 4. So let's erase this and let's move to the next question. The next question, that's II, says what is the probability that he will win all the 3 races? So that means he's winning the first, and he's winning the second, and he's winning the third. Remember, and so applying this principle just as we applied in question I, we will have that P, probability of winning all the 3 races, will be probability of winning plus multiplied by the probability of winning, and also multiplied by the probability of winning. So the probability of winning is 3 over 4. So this means we'll have 3 over 4 multiplied by 3 over 4 multiplied by 3 over 4. And this will result into 27 divided by 64. So the probability that it will win all the 3 races is 27 divided by 64. Now we are gaining time. Moving on, we now move forward, and the questioner says, what is the probability that the athlete will win only 2 of the races? Now the first question says the probability that he will win only the second race. Now if he wins only 2 of the races, that means we are saying that what is the probability that he will win the first 2, win and lose the third, or the probability that he will win the last 2 and lose the first, or the probability that he will win the first one, lose the second, and win the third one. So in these 3 conditions, he is only winning 2 races. As we can see, win, and also win. So with this, we are going to combine these, that means the and the or together. So all we are saying in essence is that we have an and here, or being present, and or with and. So with respect to this now, we are saying that the probability that it will win only 2 of the races will be the probability of WWL, that means is winning 2 races, the first 2. Now, or in this case now is addition, so plus the probability that it will win the last 2 races, or the probability that it will win the first, lose the second, and win the third. So in these conditions now, this can be expressed again as probability of win multiplied by the probability of win multiplied by the probability of lose. Then we move further to the expression of this, and we will have this to give us the probability of losing plus the probability of winning plus the probability of winning, which is the second or, and the last one will be plus the probability of winning the first. Okay, I think we've made a mistake. Yeah, this should be multiplication because it's and multiplied. Okay, moving on to lose now, multiplied by the probability to lose multiplied by the probability that it will win, just as we did. So now all we just have to do is just to substitute our values. Probability of winning is 3/4 and the probability of losing is 1/4. So probability of winning, we have 3/4. Probability of winning, we have 3/4. Probability of losing, we have 1/4. Plus probability of losing, 1/4. Probability of winning, 3/4. Probability of winning, 3/4. Plus probability of winning, 3/4. Probability of losing, 1/4. Probability of winning is 3/4. So we simplify each bracket together. Simplifying each bracket, we will have an expression of 9/64 plus 9/64 plus 9/64. And if we bring them all together, we will have an expression of 27 divided by 64. Now we can see here now that we have evaluated the probability that the athlete will win only the second race to be 3/4, that the probability that the athlete will win all the 3 races to be 27/64, and the probability that he will win only 2 of the 3 races, 2, 2, and 2, to be also be 27/64. And you notice that the answer we got in II is equivalent to III. And now let's proceed on to B aspects. All right, let's go to the new page and let's do B. Question says a cone with a perpendicular height. So we have a cone. Let's draw it together. A cone, it has a perpendicular height of 24 centimeters. So we have h is equals to 24 centimeters. H is equals to 24 centimeters. And we're given that the volume of this cone is 1200 centimeter cube. It has base radius r. Now we should find the volume of the same cone. Now we are looking for the volume of this cone. We duplicate this. Now with the same base radius, so r is equals to r, but this time the height is 84 centimeters cube. So we are looking for the volume of the cone, V, to be this unknown. So how do we solve this? So to solve this, we have to find r here, and once we get r, we substitute it into the formula of cone. The question now is, what is the formula for volume of a cone? V of cone is equals to 1/3 pi r square h. So now let's simplify and let's focus on this one first. Now here we're given that h is equals to 24 centimeters. We are looking for r and we know that the volume of the cone is 1 over 3 pi r square h. Now let's evaluate the value of r. Volume is 1200. 1 over 3 pi is 22 over 7. Radius is what we are looking for, and we have height to be 24 centimeters. So if we cross multiply, this will have 1200 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7 is equals to 22 multiplied by r squared multiplied by 24. So in view of this, we have r squared to be equals to 1200 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7 divided by 22 multiplied by 24. So our r now will be the square root of the answer of this. So with respect to that, once we use our calculator to do this, we have the value of r to be equals to 6.908 centimeters. Now, once we have the value of r in the first cone to be 6.908 centimeters, we substitute it into the second cone. R is equal to 6.908 centimeters. And then we will apply the formula for the volume of the cone, 1 over 3 pi r square h. Now, in this case, our h is what? Our h is equals to 84 centimeters. That's the height. And the radius is 6.908 centimeters. Okay. So let's begin and solve the formula. So the volume will be 1 over 3 multiplied by pi. That's 22 over 7 multiplied by the radius, 6.908 squared, multiplied by the height, 84. So just use a calculator to simplify this. You will have the answer of 4,200 centimeter cube. So this will be the answer or the volume of the cone we are looking for. Now, the final question in the survey section of WAEC 2022, we have two questions, A and B. Let's begin with A. Question A says the diameter of a cylinder which is closed at both ends. Now, you should understand when we say closed at both ends, open at both ends, we have done it in the objective section. So this is closed at both ends. Now we are given that the diameter is equal to 7 centimeters and the total surface area TSA is equals to 209 centimeters squared. We should find the height. Now if it is closed at both ends, the formula will be what? That means the formula is total surface area, the two circles, that's 2 pi r squared, plus the embedded rectangle, which is 2 pi rh. So you factorize this with 2 pi r, we will have it multiplied by r plus h. So we'll be applying this formula now because it is closed at both ends. If it is open at both ends, I believe you know what the formula will be. And if it is open at just one end, closed at the other end, I believe you know what this formula will be. Just refer back to the lesson video that we dealt on this. Now, moving on, we are asked to calculate the height, and we're given that pi is equals to 22 over 7. So now let's apply the formula that total surface area is equals to 2 pi r multiplied by r plus h. So making our substitution, total surface area is 209. The pi is 22 over 7. The radius, okay, the radius is what? The radius is diameter over 2. Radius is diameter over 2. So this is 7 over 2 centimeters. 7. So we have radius to be equals to 7 over 2. And we are multiplying it by the radius, 7 over 2 multiplied by the height h. So we are looking for h. Let's evaluate this now. So in view of this, 7 will nullify 7, 2 will nullify 2, and we'll be left with 209 is equals to 22 into 7 over 2 multiplied by height h. So let's divide both sides by 22. So we'll have 209 divided by 22 is equals to 7 over 2 multiplied. No, it's not multiplied, it's plus h, please. Emphasis on that. It is plus h. 7 over 2 plus h. So h therefore will now be 209 divided by 22. 209 divided by 22 in fractional terms is 19 over 2. So minus 7 over 2. So if you factorize or take the LCM of 2, this will give us 19 minus 7. Therefore h will be equals to 12 over 2, which is equals to 6 centimeters. So we have evaluated the value of height h to be equals to 6 centimeters. 2 and 2. Yeah, we got it. So we have 6 centimeters. Now let's proceed to question B. Question B is a question on angle of elevation and depression. So let's begin. Move to the next page. It says 2 points x and y. So let's have a straight line. We have point x here, or let's say y here and x here. 2 points x and y, they are 19 meters apart on the same side of a tree. So we can draw a tree here. It has roots and it will grow warm and it will blossom to give trees fruits. So that's the tree. The angle of elevation at the top T of a tree from x and y on the horizontal ground, this is point T, with the foot of the tree are it's 43 degrees and 38 degrees respectively. So we are saying that the angle of elevation from point x, okay, so when we look at point x, we have it to give us 43 degrees, and the angle of elevation from point y is 38 degrees. The question now says, number 1, illustrate this in the diagram, which is something we have done. Okay, we've solved that already. So to simplify further, let's just draw a simple diagram to resolve this. Remember, whenever we are doing angle of elevation and depression, we are going to be using right angles triangle. So if you have a diagram, the right angle triangle, this is point x, point y, and if you call this x to this degree now, this is 43 degrees and this is 38 degrees. The distance between them is 19 meters. And in the same way, we have height h and tree T. So now we have illustrated in the diagram. The question now says we should find, correct to 1 decimal place, the height of the tree. So you are looking for h. How do we find the height of the tree? Now let's split this diagram into two. The first, we are going to consider angle point x. So we are going to consider point x first, and the second diagram will consider point y, which is longer than x. So for point x now, we have height h and angle 43 degrees. For point y, we have height h and 38 degrees. Remember that this will be 19. Okay, if you say that the distance between point x and the height base of the tree is x, definitely the total height, the total distance to point y will be 19 plus x, and this will be x. Right, so in view of that, we can evaluate the value of h now. if we apply SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA means sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan is opposite over adjacent. So in this case, we have opposites and also we have adjacent, and it's similar here where we have opposites and we have adjacent, and we are going to apply tan, which is opposites divided by adjacent. So let's begin and apply tan here. So tan theta here, that's tan 38 degrees, is equals to opposites. The opposite here is h, the adjacent is 19 plus x, and in the same vein, tan 43 degrees, the opposite is h and the adjacent is x. So now we have the value of h is equals to tan 38 degrees multiplied by 19 plus x. However, we do not know the value of x, so we can come here and make x subject to formula. So, or we proceed further and make x subject to formula, like we said. So x will be equals to h divided by tan 43 degrees. Now, if x is equals to h over tan 43 degrees, you can see that I still can't find the value of h. So I still can't find the value of x because I need the value of h. So in view of this, we have to make h subject to formula. So h is equals to x tan 43 degrees. Now you will see something in formula. H is equals to this and h is equals to this. So in essence, we are saying that tan 38 degrees multiplied by 19 plus x is equals to x, which is this, tan 43 degrees. So with this, we can find the value of x. So let's open up the brackets and find the value of x. So tan 38 degrees, using our calculator, we'll have 0.7813 multiplied by 19 plus x, and tan 43 degrees is simply 0.9325. So solving further, if you open the bracket, we'll have 14.8447 plus 0.7813x to be equals to 0.9325x. So with this, we can find the value of x and say, if we move this to, we are moving this to the left hand side, so we are left with 14.8447 to be equals to 0.9325x minus 0.7813x. So with that, we have 14.8447 to be equals to the value of x as 0.1512x. So therefore, x will be 14.8447 divided by 0.1512. So the value of x now will be equals to 98.179 meters. Now we have the value of x. So wherever we see x, we can easily substitute 98. Okay, let's put it here. 98.179 meters. Now, the question says we should find the height of the tree. Now, the height of the tree can simply be evaluated by using this formula, that h is equals to x tan 43 degrees, or you can choose to use this. But this is quite longer, so we will just use this. So the height of the tree, h, is equals to x tan 43 degrees. So x is equals to 98.179, and tan 43 degrees is equals to 0.7813. Use our calculator for this. We will have 91.554 meters, and we can approximate this to give us 91.55 meters. So the height of the tree is 91.55 meters. So we have solved the B section. Now I hope you have drawn value from everything we have solved so far. From question number 1, okay, we move down to question number 13. So ensure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because more is coming.